I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother Mary.
Hi Leo, Virgo moon sign people. This is your full moon reading for 2019. It's a really special one because it is the new nodal season in earnest. Great Mother is really speaking to us at this particular time about this new nodal season. If you've paid attention, you know that Cancer moved into the North Node on November the 7th. However, there was still some cleansing that needed to happen with regard to that Cancer Leo energy from that 2.5-year period, which started in earnest. It was activated during the eclipse that the world stopped to watch, the total solar eclipse in August 2017 in Leo Cancer, in the nakshatra Leo of Ashlesha. So, in Cancer, rather, of Ashlesha. Ashlesha is in the latter degrees of Cancer, 16.4 degrees to 30 degrees. It's a very intensely emotional nakshatra, and if you recall, from that point forward, the emotions were just off the chain globally, and so within us as well, because Great Mother speaks to us through our emotions and through our intuition. And so what Great Mother is saying to us this full moon is that the last full moon that was in Cancer Leo was a total lunar eclipse that cleaned out that nodal season. And so the cleaning that was remaining after November 7th had to do with the clarity, balance, and confirmation we all needed to be sure that we were bringing forward from that nodal season. Okay, so the soul information, the Vedic astrology information from that Ashlesha Cancer energy was all about healing the wounded child within, making sure that the lessons, the benefits of being the wounded child were being carried forward. And so we have heard stories about people who were brought up in poverty, people who have been abused, people who've had all manner of abandonment and abuse that have made lemonade out of lemons. And many times we wonder, how were they able to do that? Well, they were working with the energy of Ashlesha. Ashlesha is either very emotionally unstable, that very intense Cancerian energy that is very the Vedas describe it as entwining energy, like a serpent. It's always involved in drama. It always has problems with its mother. Typically, the animal totem is a male cat. And so I always think of a gentleman struggling with his sexuality and the problems that creates within himself and therefore in his life, not being able to own exactly how he feels about himself in his body is a good way to look at Ashlesha. Once that energy is cleansed, it's cleared, and there is clarity about it, well, then he can move forward with the strength and the power that can move mountains, that can change things. And don't we love the creativity of men who are balancing that masculine, that yin and yang energy, which of course is in the Great Mother Speaks deck when we're talking about the law cards. The law cards all are yin yang cards, and this one is a double yin card for you. With this Virgo full moon moving forward in the nakshatra of Ashlesha in the Leo, in Cancer, it is in the latter degrees of the Vedic. Typically, Vedic is, again, about 24 degrees prior to the Western astrology. And so it's about 26, 27 degrees. And so this is the very early Virgo energy. It's kind of cattywampus right now, but it is in Ashlesha. With this Virgo full moon, you have a double yin symbol, speaking of the yin yang symbols there in the position of the energy that is supporting you. You have a great deal of this downloading energy. Double yin energy has to do with one yin being receptive, emotionally receptive. Double yin is the ego soul. There's a lot of communication going on. There's a lot of very clear downloading going on in third quarter moon energy, which has to do with release. So you have released a lot of that energy from the last nodal season. This is the Dagda. The Dagda is that energy from the great Divine Mother, the law of Divine Mother. And the law of Divine Mother simply says to trust that internal wisdom, simply trust that intuitive download that we have, and to trust that what we're hearing, what we're seeing, we all have some manner of clair that is a gift given to us. Some of us have all of our clairs very clear because our chakras are clear, but most of us may have just one. We may be clairvoyant. We may see things very clearly. We may hear things very clearly, clairaudiently, from our soul, from our intuition. We may be clairsentient. We may sense things from our gut. This is a second chakra card. Okay, and so second chakra card, that's ruled by Jupiter, and so that energy, you might have again that kind of clairsentience that's going on with regard to just sensing the truth that's around you at this time. What Great Mother is saying for you, full moon, Virgo moon people, is that the inner work that's needing to be done at this time is Demeter work. Demeter is the goddess of, she's the Greek goddess of really going down into the underworld to get her daughter Persephone, who's been taken into Hades. And she is able to ultimately work a deal with the devil to see her half of the year. And it is a process getting to that 50-50 mark with our mothers, isn't it? About the truth of our relationship, where we're good and how we're good with each other, how we support each other, where our relationship serves us and where it doesn't. Great Mother wants you to get very clear about that during this full moon. This is a full moon gut chakra card. And so the gut chakra is ruled by Mars, which rules Aries and Scorpio. Now for you, that energy has a lot to do with first house energy. And so with this moon being your moon, your full moon, and the clarity that has come from this nodal season starting in earnest, in your gut, you know exactly where your relationship is with your mother. You know how it is serving you. You know how it is not serving you. You know whether or not you were in a place of basically suffering mama drama trauma, or you are at a place of surviving it now. You're starting to get a grip on it, on knowing that you're going to survive this, but the reality of the situation is she's unable, unwilling, and unavailable to heal. Or by accepting your feelings, you also may be out there knowing that you are at a point, a full moon point, where I am realizing my divinity and I am owning that and giving up my identity associated with mama drama trauma. I am not mama drama trauma. That does not define my life. I have some behaviors, I have some issues that are associated with that, but with my conscious practice and my conscious healing work, I am moving beyond that because I am a divine child of the Great Mother, Father God, who is dearly loved, never judged, condemned, or left alone. This is the inner work Great Mother is saying is coming up as a climatic reality for you at this particular time. And the inner work that is around this has to do with Jesus energy. The Christ consciousness is bringing this up for you. On some level, many of you already feel that you are receiving a great deal of guidance. You're receiving a great deal of support. You're also learning about new ways to take care of yourself that does not require you to focus so much on what is missing in your maternal relationship. Perhaps you're being introduced to people that you normally wouldn't hang out with. Perhaps you are going places that you normally wouldn't go. Maybe if you were at home, sometimes people heal that way. They just kind of shut off a little bit and reflect and come and go within themselves. Speaking of how we feel, you might be watching shows that you've never watched on TV, tuning in channels you've never tuned in before, maybe even here on YouTube, that you watching, videos like this. That energy of feeling guided, of feeling protected, and trusting that guidance that is coming to you is really starting to pay off. And that is what is bringing up these new feelings that Great Mother is saying are coming to a climax and that you need to accept as part of your healing process. What you may not be aware of is that this is bringing you into a great deal of personal power. You have the power to move forward in your healing process, whether you realize it or not. The Lilith card is all about personal power. It is a waxing gibbous card that has to do with revision, editing, and so you are doing that. You're changing how you go about your life. You're changing how you learn things. You're changing how you self-soothe, and the projections that you may have for the care that you need onto your mother back onto yourself. Again, checking out new things that can provide that for you. Another gut chakra card. So this Aries energy, this Mars energy is telling me that what's really important for you at this particular time is to look at where Mars is. And Mars has just moved from Aries into Taurus, into the Western. So we have this energy for you where you are actually this kind of ninth house energy, I would say, that is really about your spirituality, how you are relating to God right now is really changing. Maybe you have new spiritual guidance altogether, which is what the Jesus card is kind of about, the guidance, and maybe you have new maternal figures that you are starting to appreciate more, call on more. This is affecting your dharma as well, your life purpose. You're starting to see that there is life beyond MDT. And you're really appreciating that as well. You're really starting to see that this is something that you can do, that you're going to be able to handle this, Virgo moon sign people. Now, in your sidereal, you have the Leo energy that's giving you that power. So that's how you download your intuition. You download it in a very creative way. And so you are finding all sorts of creative ways of downloading what you need to know in the moment as you need it on this very spiritual journey to healing mama drama trauma. Now, what you really, really want is for all of this to pay off in a way that is cleansing, in a way that's purifying, in a way that's renewing for your spirit and renewing for your soul. The Coventina card is when Dorothy and the three do finally arrive at Oz's castle, and they are ushered into the wash and brush up. Remember that? The horse comes and it picks them up in the little carriage, and they go and they get all cleaned up. Dorothy enters a girl with pigtails and ringlets, and she leaves a young woman, with wavy hair down her back, and the lion enters one way and he's all dressed up and coiffed when he leaves, etc., with the three. And this is heart chakra energy. Now, I know this is chakra, and so when we're talking chakras, we're talking about the Vedic astrology. And so the heart chakra technically is about Venus ruling Taurus and Libra. But we do know that Leo, in terms of the physical body, is about the heart. It's about being able to access the upper and lower valves, that exchange between the lower chakras and the higher chakras, emotion and intuitive issues, being able to healthily breathe and process those things. And so that's what you're doing. And so you really want this to be a purifying process. You really want this to be something that is giving you the support that you need, because you're putting a lot into this. And if you are experiencing any type of heart issues, it may be due to exhaustion. If you're experiencing any type of back pain or spinal issues that are kind of around the heart, then it may be because you are downloading things but not activating them in your life, and there's a backlog of energy. Okay, and so it's lodged in your back. You keep trying to go and go and go and go and go and go, and the information about how to make your life smoother and how to assimilate things into your life in a more efficient way, it's not being utilized. In other words, this third quarter moon energy, which is about release, second chakra release, there are some desires that you have right now that need to be released in order for all of the work that you've done to get the clarity, balance, and confirmation that you need right now for your healing process to be integrated. There are some old things that you used to want. Maybe you used to really want to, if we're talking about second chakra, we're talking about Jupiter, and right now Jupiter is in Scorpio Sagittarius, and that is in your fourth house. Okay, and so that's mother energy. And so again, maybe in the past, again, projecting some of those self-care issues onto your mother, wanting her to call and see about you, wanting her to do this or wanting her to do that, take care of the kids, or wanting whatever the desire is, wanting her to cook on Sunday or whatever. Those seem to be simple things, but when we have MDT, the smallest thing can trigger us, even no matter how far we are in our healing process. And that's why this deck is so useful, because you can always pull it out when you're triggered so you don't go into a tailspin. And what is in the position of what's supporting you is that you are downloading information, but if you're feeling that pain, what I'm saying is that there are still some things that need to be released in order for that chakra, that heart chakra, in order for you to breathe and actually use what you've downloaded. Okay? That is how you download. It's through Libra. It's through the Vedic. And your emotions, how you feel in your body, is actually how you upload information to your soul. And so if you are not, from how you're feeling, which is about the truth, it's about integrity. If you're not saying, well, I'm exhausted and so I really do need guidance, which isn't the indication, because you have the guidance card, you are doing that. Just be more conscious of that, because you're getting a response. You're getting a response back. Okay. If you were to have trouble uploading, that would be Virgo related issues. Okay. And so the Virgo related issues would, have to do with digestion. Okay, so if you are having problems being truthful with yourself and within yourself about how you really feel, whether you're suffering, whether you're in the survival phase, whether you are, sometimes we want to jump and say, oh, I am a divinity identity. And really, we still are highly identified with being a sufferer of MDT, which is a necessary stage. We have to go through that stage. We can't ignore it. If you were still suffering from mama drama trauma, that has to be acknowledged, or there will be issues with digestion for you, Virgo moon sign people in the Western. And digestion has to do with processing, okay? And so processing the emotions, that's not being, really properly done. It's not being acknowledged. Your true feelings are not being acknowledged in that example. And that's why I wanted to go through that a little bit in more detail with some of you, because the inner work that Great Mother is saying that is coming to fruition with this full moon in your sign, with your center significator card being a full moon gut chakra ruled by Mars. Mars is in your ninth house. And so Mars is really banging on right now the spiritual wisdom that you have gained. This yin card, this single download to the Virgo. You have been emotionally aware of the guidance you received. Now with the soul level, with Jupiter, it's time to use that. Now, the status of your ego soul alignment is that you are acknowledging where you are. You are acknowledging residual or very active feelings of abandonment and abuse. And what Great Mother wants you to know with this balsamic moon card is that between now and the balsamic moon, after the full moon, of course, the moon begins to wane. So this is the last phase of the waning moon before it becomes a new moon. She wants you to know that there is one God, one law. Work with the energy that you have been downloading that is starting to share with you that just as you have your own healing process, Mom does too. Everyone has their own healing process. And it's just important that we acknowledge ours and we deal with ours. And we acknowledge that just as we are dealing with ours and Great Mother, Father, God is supporting us and loving us as dearly divine children, never judged, condemned, or left alone, they are doing the same with others. So that same acknowledgement and consideration needs to be given to others as well, Virgo moon sign people. Many of you, that is the status that you are right now. You're very clear about that. Some of you, this is a reminder. In the position of why your soul wants to do this work is Pachamama. You are ready to leave this situation behind. This is something that you have been dealing with, and you are at a point, many of you, this is indicating that you are at a point of receiving your divinity identity, and you're just ready to, as we see Dorothy leaving the farm, you go and commune with the sea, the trees, the fairies, just be with nature. This is a root chakra, waning gibbous moon card. So this comes after the full moon. So after your full moon, you're going to have a great feeling of relief. You know, you've been doing all of this work up to this point, and with this clarity, you're going to be able to take a breath and say, I'm on my way. That's at the very beginning of her journey away from home. Okay, even though she tried to return, the twister, Great Mother energy incarnated as the twister in nature, Gaia, diverted her path so she could continue on her healing path. So you will feel that you're at the beginning of your healing path in earnest. Now, how your soul wants to do this work during this particular time is by taking responsibility for your yellow brick road journey. You're ready. Virgo moon sign people, you're ready to walk that yellow brick road. Mars energy, you've got the downloads. Ninth house energy, you've got your guru energy going on. You've got new guidance that is showing you the way, and you're actually feeling like you are able to respond to your triggers in ways that do reflect the purification that you desire, that do reflect the purification processes that you have taken, that do show that you have actually been processing your emotions and accepting your emotions along this journey, creating an outcome which is very likely for this full moon period. Speaking of taking responsibility after the full moon, you have another waning gibbous moon card, is that it's very likely for you, Virgo moon sign people, that you will feel a great opening, maybe even a breaking of the heart that is a purification in and of itself, maybe a good cry, a really good acceptance of the truth of the matter of the situation. This is heart chakra energy, Venetian energy that rules Taurus and Libra. Now, again, Mars has just left Aries and moved into Taurus. And so Taurus is ruled by the heart chakra. It's ruled by Venus. And so this is a very powerful moving forward. This isn't about a cry that is a show of weakness, although crying rarely is a show of weakness unless there's some manipulation involved. But we want to point that out because this is occurring in the nakshatra of Ashlesha. Ashlesha can be tremendously manipulative. It is an entwining energy. It is a very dramatic energy. It's a high Cancerian energy that, when I mean high, I mean it's very intense. It has a lot of the negative qualities of Cancer that makes the positive qualities of loving, nurturing, caring almost impossible because it's so mentally and emotionally unstable. And so we have to mention that, because if the probable outcome is an opening of the heart, then it's also a possible breaking of the heart, and realizing that is probably a way that you maybe have been dealing with mama drama trauma. Maybe that's a way that you have been trying to heal your relationship with your mother. That's typical. We do what we know to do, what we were taught. And so we have been mothered by a manipulative mother. We've tried to do the same thing to get her to do what we want her to do. But at this particular time, the message is with this nakshatra, which is the same nakshatra of the August 2017 total solar eclipse that kicked all of this nodal season off with Leo and North Node in Ashlesha. It was about globally addressing this planetary disorder of mama drama trauma. People not feeling love, not feeling nurtured. And so this me of the Leo energy in Ashlesha really came out. But with maturity, we move into an energy of Ashlesha that is able to reframe the manipulation into being able to share with people the wisdom of their journey, the wisdom of coming through that dark night of the soul, which is exactly what we do to release MDT, to accept our divinity. So for those of you who are open to that process, do so in a very courageous way, because the energies are supporting you this full moon, your full moon of 2019. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking. But above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.
Great Mother speaks. I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother Mary.